The way you make money is about to change. The way you make money is about to change. And I got this channeled message first thing in the morning, so I'm recording it around this time. I'm obviously going to record it or post it a little bit later. Either way, there is this process that you have been going through, this shift in career paths that's in alignment with the message I just posted. The way you make money is about to change. It's going to be the difference between exchanging time for money to going into this bartering system. And I want you guys to follow me on this channel message, because bartering goes way, way back in the day, right? If you guys are familiar with the term, people, and if you all have ever watched the movie Hunger Games, they show it a bit in the beginning stages, in the beginning scenes. But bartering is when you don't exchange money in exchange for something else. Bartering is an exchange of gifts. So let's say, for example, I'm very gifted and talented in speaking, writing, acting, performing, negotiating. That's an exchange. And for example, like for a corporation that needs more talent, needs face, needs whatever, I'm now exchanging my services, my gifts, and my talents in exchange for freedom. And make no mistake, this is an exchange for freedom, because once you step into this level of understanding of who you actually are and what you provide and what you're naturally gifted in, what you do in exchange for that is always going to feel like freedom, because it's not work. It's who you are. And that is what makes the difference between the two. It's no longer going to be an exchange for money. It's not going to be time and then money. No, it's gifts, freedom. So I'll give you an example, right? Back in the day, they didn't have money to exchange. They had goats, they had pigs, they had something of value in exchange for, let's say, for example, they came to another farmer. They had goats, they had food, they had something of value pertaining to their livestock that they gave over to this other farmer in exchange for them to give them wool, in exchange for them to give them iron, in exchange for them. It's that type of thing. And I feel like this is both on a micro and a macro level right now. There are a lot of shifts in terms of employment and what it looks like. And you can kind of see it a little bit when it comes to the systems, all these jobs shutting down, all these people boycotting, systems and corporations. And it's because there is about to be both a macro and a micro shift in terms of an exchange of currency. And if we're talking on a micro level, meaning we're talking about intimately how it affects your life, you are shifting in terms of how you are about to make money. Because in your previous season, you exchanged your time in exchange for resources. Meaning you gave these people 8 hours of your day, every day, working on their job, answering their phones, doing whatever else, taking maybe a 30-minute lunch, 15-minute lunch. And in exchange, they gave you a paycheck. They paid you for the day, but paid you in a lump sum within every week or every 2 weeks, right? And that worked in the previous season. But now you're about to shift from working a 9 to 5 to exchanging now your resources in exchange for freedom. That's going to be the main shift. You're going from, I almost want to say hunter-gatherer to now this bartering system, meaning you're not going to be on the pursuit so heavily like you used to. You're going to be now in this attraction. You're going to attract. Because see, there is this sovereignty, there is this subtlety, this solid stillness. Look at how she's sitting. She's not moving, meaning what is for her has to come to her. She's not about to go out and get it. Look, confirmation. She's not going to go out and get it. She's becoming so attractive by knowing her worth. She's attracting in opportunities to her because you're going from this, please let me just serve you, to this is what I offer. These are my services. This is what I provide. This is the value that I have. And there are people that are going to be called to that. I'll give you another example, right? Let's say you, in your previous season, you were in sales, and majority of your time persisted of having to door knock, call, follow up, set appointments. There was a level of chase associated with what you had to do. But there is a shift now into this like nervous system alignment with who you really are, that's going to also show up and reflect itself in your career, meaning you're no longer chasing after people. People are going to now find you and come seek your services. This isn't anything you're going to have to go out and pursue, because the smartest of business people, like, they cater to a need that's already prevalent in the community. That's how you effectively start a business. You see the need, you understand who you are and what you can provide to the need, and it will attract said people who need that service. Right? And it's the difference. And see, you guys had to go through a number of different things before you could even believe that you could sit on this type of throne, sit in this type of power. Because it's a sense of self-worth. It's the difference between feeling like you aren't worthy, so you chase everything, versus understanding who you are. You attract opportunities when you're in both energies. When you're in the chasing, you attract opportunities that force you to chase. But when you're in this silence, this stillness, this calmness, you understand and you're able to see opportunities more properly. And you attract. There is a difference, and I keep zoning in on this system of bartering. There's a bartering system. I remember the first time I picked up a book that was trying to teach me about money. And there were so many different moving parts, but what they did was break down the core root of what it means to exchange money. And they went all the way back in the day, way back in time. They started at the beginning. In the very first stages of what it meant to exchange, before they had physical money, they talked about the bartering system. I'll exchange what I have in exchange for what you have. I'll trade my ox in exchange for your goat. I'll exchange my whatever it is. And it's going to be something like that, because, mind you, the system of money as a whole is going through a huge shift collectively. Meaning people, and there are a lot more people who are going through a shortage of it. There are people who are starting to understand it more. And when you start to understand something more effectively, you realize, like, there's more than one way to do this. So there are a lot of people right now that are about to take a risk, a divinely guided risk, or a divinely divided exchange of what it means to show up and step into some form of stability. And see, this is something I had to learn too, because here's the funny thing about, like, money, right? When you don't have it, you chase after it with so much, I gotta survive, I have to get it. And then the funny thing is, once you finally have an abundance of it, you don't view it the same. It's just a resource. It's like, okay, yeah, I have it. And I had to go through that as well. I went through a season of my life where everything I did had to do with money. I chose jobs, I chose stability, I chose homes. How am I going to get it was in the mentality of being scarce. But once you shift out of that scarce mentality and step into abundance, you don't view money like that. Like your conversations are different. How you negotiate is different. Because now you're not stepping into opportunities like, I just need it. Like, oh my God. No. Now you step into rooms looking people eye to eye. And that's also the shift in difference. Like, I'm not exchanging my time and my energy in exchange for a paycheck. This is who I am. It's like getting paid to exist. And what you now do with those said resources, now that you know, like, money isn't the root of why you move. How you view and how you handle money is about to change. And that is also going to reflect in what you choose to do in terms of your career. There's about to be a shift. And you're going to first start to feel it in your nervous system. You're going to feel more calm. You're not going to feel the need to want to rush or do a whole bunch of things and be so scared to fucking fall apart because you don't have X, Y, and Z. No, this is going to start from within, and it already has started. This isn't anything you have to find. This is something that just is.